Hey guys, welcome to the Bird Brothers, two brothers in Ohio, lifelong Eagles fans. We're here to talk Eagles, Cardinals today, 4:25 p.m. Eastern, on the road in Arizona. What are your initial thoughts about this game, Ryan?
Yeah, I saw. I initially the first thing I did was look at the injury report, um, to see about Slay, Mailata, all that stuff. Looks like Slay. I didn't see anything on on his status. Looks like he's good to go. Maddox is going to be out, and then Jordan Mailata is also going to be out. So Jack Driscoll will get his first start at left tackle. I think he held his own last week. He got bull rushed a few times, where the pocket got pushed a little bit, but I think overall he played pretty well for just popping in unexpectedly. So those are two things to watch for. See how he holds up this week. Um, and then obviously Maddox being out, we're gonna need a little more nickel corner help. I know they elevated that. I'm gonna butcher his name, but Chachuri or whatever. They elevated him again, uh, just to kind of get a little more depth. But he played pretty well, especially on special teams last week. Made a few tackles. But overall, you want Mailata and Maddox to play, especially Mailata. Uh, but Driscoll held his own, so I'm pretty confident he's gonna be fine. As far as the Cardinals, I don't think the only one that was questionable that would have been a key guy to my knowledge was Rondell Moore, still with that knee after having knee surgery, but I guess he's gonna go. So that's gonna be someone to look out for. He's obviously a playmaker, so gotta keep him wrapped up a little bit.
Yeah, I think Jack Driscoll will do fine. He's held up. This is where you kind of wish you did have Andre Dillard. So Dillard, I think, will be back. I haven't really looked at an update on him in a while. Initially,
They
when
have,
he hurt,
yeah, so they basically like they haven't activated him to the roster, but they're in that 21-day window right now, to activate him to the roster. So I think he's pretty much good to go. I think they're just kind of slowly ramping him up. They'll probably use, like most teams do, use the full 21 days to evaluate and make sure he is. And then there's no sense in, getting in that window and elevating him right away. And then, oh shit, we made a mistake. Like he's not ready to go.
do you
So
do you know what is Mailata's injury?
I don't really. I saw one was like, I think it was shoulder soreness, but then I saw like hip soreness. I think he dove on that interception, the pick six. It was,
Yeah.
I think when he dove, he injured himself. So uh, the way I saw when he landed, which again I don't really know, I haven't read much on it. They just said soreness, and um, but it just looked like maybe he landed a little awkwardly, and 300 and whatever pounds is not, landing on yourself like that on your shoulder is not great. So
Yeah,
yeah, I have a actual designation, but I think it's something like that, a shoulder, hip.
gotcha. So by them activating Andre Chachere, however you say that,
Mm,
that guy's a safety.
right.
So I wonder if they're gonna have him back at safety with Epps and move Gardner Johnson to the nickel. I would imagine.
I think Shastri has some nickel experience as well. Because the things I read on it said gives them more nickel depth, and that could just mean what you said. Maybe they're going to slide him to safety and bring up, Gardner Johnson. Uh, I'm hoping to see a jump in Gardner Johnson's play. I I don't know. I tend to be impatient with that stuff, which is ridiculous because I've never seen an NFL playbook. You know what I mean? I've never had to learn an NFL playbook or scheme. So I
He's the
understand.
bomb. That's what I'm
Yeah,
just
I
kidding.
stayed up last night and learned it, and I could have started safety today. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, I think he's going to slowly grow. It's exciting when you get a player like that. You're like, oh, he's going to change our defense, and then you have to remember, like, it takes time. It's going to take time for him to mesh with people, learn the defense the right way, and figure out where he needs to be at times. So I'm hoping to see a jump, in his play this week. But
I think you're right. I think the more he gets, acclimated, when you're learning something new, it's on like the forefront of your mind. It's hard
right,
to react and be like this fluent and reactive because you're thinking.
right,
Um, so I think once once he's got it down, subconsciously he starts to get into the flow. We'll definitely see him play faster. We also got to factor in like number one, I've seen him make some plays in the
Yeah.
past game. I've seen him get some pass defenses. I have seen him miss some tackles. Last week, I think he was kind of a non-factor. Like I don't, from my perspective, I'm not
Yeah.
an X's and O's guy. Like I can't break down the tape. Just didn't see him making a lot of plays. Didn't see him make any plays that come to mind. And that's also, man, like he's a great NFL nickel,
Yeah.
and that's up in your face, press coverage, aggressive. You're engaging someone one on one every route. Like it's very, you know, engaging. And now we're taking him and moving him 10 yards back.
Right.
He's looking at it's a different perspective. It's a different position.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
we'll see how he acclimates. He was a great nickel. Can he be a great safety? Or is he
Yeah.
going to be is he just better than who we had there before? Like if the Eagles this offseason have a chance to grab a legitimate safety, are they going to move Gardner Johnson to like nickel? We'll have to see. I don't know. But
I
yeah,
saw so just before we move off to Gardner Johnson, I saw a thing that was interesting where a guy said Gardner Johnson is a great nickel corner, and he's an exciting, or what did he say? Basically, an exciting safety. Saying like I wouldn't categorize him as a safe safety. Like he's not a guy that's like no one ever gets behind me, like where he's just a center fielder and he you can't throw the ball over his head. He's a guy that's going to go from the right hash all the way to the sideline and make a diving interception or a monster hit or fly through on a blitz and make like kind of like I don't. He doesn't. He's not gonna be the guy like they said that just is gonna never let anything get behind him. He's gonna make a lot of plays, but there's gonna be times where he misses because he's that style of player. The guy that's gonna try to jump routes and read something, and he's gonna read wrong at times. But I like that with our corners we have. Like Bradbury's numbers so far this season, knock on wood, are phenomenal. He's played very well, and I mean everyone has, to be honest, on our defense, like and on our secondary. So just missed tackles, things like that. But overall, we played very well from our starters, and even Scott and stuff. I think kind of reamed him a little bit for the stuff. But again, it should be expected to just step in short notice. You forget your assignments or whatever the case may be, and that happens. I'm just glad we're not seeing that from starters. Guys getting beat on double moves and things like that. So,
yeah,
yeah, I think Gardner Johnson will continue to grow. I think that's but I do kind of expect him to be that guy that's going to make flash plays, but he's also going to get beat because he's trying to make flash plays. So that's kind of my opinion, I think, on that stuff.
yeah. So let's get into specifically the Arizona Cardinals. So we face off against them. We'll see Mr. Zach Ertz today.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
Got Rondell Moore, James Conner.
Rondell Moore is.
Yeah, he's electric, man.
I remember seeing him his freshman year versus Ohio State, and he was dominating.
Yeah.
He is very explosive. Okay, so what are you? We want the Eagles to win this football game. What are your concerns? What scares you about the Arizona Cardinals? Are you confident we're going to win this game? Are you a little back on your heels? Are you just like suspicious, like, well, you never know? Is it like any given Sunday, like always, or are you more worried about this opponent?
I think I'm a little more worried just because of the playmakers they have. But when you really look and break it down, they haven't played very well. They've been underwhelming so far this year. Kyler Murray's been kind of middle of the road. It's hasn't been great, hasn't been bad. I think they have enough talent to kind of just keep them afloat in games that they probably shouldn't win. And now they get Rondell Moore back. James Conner has missed a couple games, but I think he's back for this game. So I'm not super nervous about them. The Jaguars game kind of felt like a trap game. They have a lot of talent. They're hungry, young. Same as like the Lions. I kind of looked at those two games the same. The Cardinals, I don't know. I don't know if they fully believe in like this Kingsbury, wild and crazy offense that's supposed to be, electrifying. Um, Obviously, they don't have DeAndre Hopkins, their best receiver. He's out, still with that suspension. But I don't know. I'm not super nervous. I think we need to just deal with Kyler Murray, and we can't allow these big runs like we gave up to Swift, which we improved, drastically since week 1 against the run. But James Conner, he can really hurt you if you let him. Uh, I'm not super nervous about him, man. I think we'll handle Zach Ertz pretty well. I think he's going to get his catches. He's going to get 4, 5, 6 catches for 40, 50, 60 yards probably. But we just have to limit the big plays like we have been. And I think James Conner could be the big playmaker for them. Rondell Moore is his first week back. I think he's going to see a lot of Slay and Bradbury. So I'm not too nervous about that. He's going to be working back in. But my big thing is Connor. We can't stop. We have to stop the run. We can't allow big explosive plays from him, especially in the passing game. They like to dump it off to him, where Murray extends a play and then Connor's wide open. So that's my take from it. But I'm not super nervous about it. I saw a video this morning. Actually, my brother-in-law sent me, and it's all the Eagles fans at like an outside like cafe in Arizona, and there's like Arizona fans driving by yelling something at them, and they start singing the "No One Likes Us" song, and it's just like, I mean, it's probably 200 people sitting outside like at this cafe place, like waiting for game time. So it's cool to see that. He sent that to me, and he's like, "Man, Eagles fans are crazy." I was like, "Yeah, they travel well, and they will go to jail." So like, they don't care. So it's just funny to see it. But yeah, that's my take from. I'm most nervous if I had to pick would be containing Kyler Murray and not letting him
from a running standpoint, or just completely
like extending plays. He does that a lot where he does the Russell Wilson where he'll run this way, run back this way, and then he hits a guy on a 40-yard dime because it's been 5 seconds. It's very difficult to cover in this league, and it's even more when you have to go off script. Now you're just chasing guys over. It's like backyard football after that. So I do very well with a spy. Like, I don't even know if they're actually using a spy, but it just seems like they keep a guy floating around like just in case. But I think we need to handle them the same way the Buccaneers handled Patrick Mahomes. Bring pressure on the edges, which we've been getting. We've been producing with 4 down linemen, and just disguise a lot of blitzes. These things where I'm okay with it, dropping Reddick, dropping Graham, if we need to. But I want to see as much Jordan Davis as possible. Kyler Murray is very short, and they do a lot of short game passing. So right over the middle. So I want to see as much of Jordan Davis in there as possible. It's very difficult to throw over a guy like that. So that'd be my take. Bring pressure on the edges, contain him, because more than likely he's not going to escape up the middle, with Jordan Davis and Fletch and Hargrave. So kind of went on a rant there, but that's my take. Contain Kyler Murray and don't let Connor beat us with these explosive plays.
Yeah, so Kyler Murray, I like him. I think he's like one of the most exciting players to watch personally. I'm a Kyler Murray fan. I'm a fan of the talent, but kind of what I think, and I don't know the guy personally, right? So if he sees this video, I don't want to hurt your feelings, Kyler Murray, but
I think he's subscribed.
is he one of the 30 subscribers? Well,
yeah, he's a biggie.
I've got to say my truth, man.
Yeah.
I think that he's more talented than Jalen Hurts physically, but I don't think he wants it as bad as Jalen Hurts. And I say that because I think Kyler looks a little bit out of shape. And I think that this deal about the contract negotiation, like,
weird.
And maybe Kyler needs my hate to fuel him and then he'll be better. But like the contract thing, they put in like 3 hours of film study or whatever it was, a number of hours of film study per week in the contract that he signed. And then they took it out.
Well, it got publicized that like everyone found out about that, and everyone said, well, it's probably in a lot of contracts. I'm like, then why was it never there's a reason it was put in there, and there's a reason why it was broadcasted. So I have, and again, I don't know him either, but I've like seen people post that he's a big gamer, like video games,
Oh,
and spends a lot of time like playing video games, things like that. It's like and it was he's allowed to have a personal life. I understand that, but we're paying you an insane amount of money. You're the starting quarterback. That people were talking about Russell Wilson, like making these horrible plays. Russell Wilson's looked dreadful this year, making throws he's never made before, just throwing it up in the air. I mean, he's done that before a little bit with DK Metcalf, but yeah, but like I understand you're supposed to have a personal life and you can have a personal life, but it can't take over your profession. Not in this aspect. You're
yeah.
not working from 9 to 5 where you're making, $20 an hour and you go, do the same thing over and over. You're making millions of dollars. You're the face of a franchise.
You're the
And
leader. More importantly, you're supposed to be the leader of men.
right,
You're the leader of men who are top 1%ers,
right.
professional athletes. What kind of drive, grit, determination do those guys have on a professional football team? And what kind of leader do they respond to and
Right.
follow?
Yeah.
You know,
So
man, like,
yeah, it's definitely scary, man. If I'm a Cardinals fan, it makes me nervous that that's put in the contract because there's a reason for it.
and you got to argue, like, do you see it on the field? Like last year, they started out what, like 8-0?
Something like that.
They started out really good. Got a lot of talent, very fast. I want to talk about the linebacker from Clemson, safety linebacker
Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons. Really wanted the Eagles to get a hold of him, but he's not really a pure. He's getting better now. He's getting more into the groove, but like he
They
didn't really
kind of
have a position.
yeah, they didn't know where to play him. I think his rookie year they played him at safety and nothing crazy. It was okay. I was like, a player like that, I think it's like Parsons. You don't want Parsons to play outside linebacker and only drop into coverage when he can do all this other thing. Like if he's a pass rusher, let him pass rush.
He reminds me of Parsons, kind of.
Yeah, and it's like just figure out what he can do. It's the same. I mean, it's situations we've seen over and over. Like the one I always talk about is that like it irritates me to go back, but Villanueva, we get him, we put him a defensive end, we put him a defensive tackle, and we're like, oh, he just doesn't have it. And he goes to the Steelers and makes the Pro Bowl 3 times at left tackle. It's like stuff like that we have to find. We did a great job with Mailata, put him at tackle, developed him. Jason Peters was a 300-pound tight end that got moved to tackle, and he's like what, an 8-time Pro Bowler, one of the maybe the greatest. I don't go. He's the greatest tackle of my generation, like so far. I would say for the Eagles, not of the entire NFL, but for the Eagles,
It might be.
yeah, and could be all time. I mean, I don't know. Going way back in the day, there might be guys that argue this, um, but stuff like that, I just you have to move guys around, and they successfully, I think, did that with Simmons. They moved him to linebacker, they put him on the edge, they blitzed him, and he had a better year last year, and he seems to be on track, moving forward, like he's progressing. So it's hard to do that sometimes, I think, because like you draft a guy and he's listed as a safety, and you're like, okay, well, let's play him at safety for 3 years, and then if he doesn't have it, we'll just release him. You know what I mean? But
They had that trouble. People had that trouble with Hassan Reddick
yeah,
initially, Arizona, ironically. And
yeah,
you remember Chip Kelly drafting Jordan Poyer?
yep,
Drafted him as a corner, I think out of Oregon State, and then now he's a Pro Bowl safety for the Bills. So it happens, and sometimes when they become that player down the road, they're just a different player. They've learned something, they've changed something. Yeah, so we'll see. Kyler Murray is very, very talented. Going to give us a challenge.
yeah,
I think you're right. If we can stop the run and make them one-dimensional, put it all on Kyler to pass without Hopkins, we should match up pretty well on the back end, even though we don't have Maddox. I wish we did, but maybe Gardner Johnson plays some nickel on Rondell Moore. I don't know how much Rondell Moore is out wide. So I hope that they put Bradbury or Slay on him, but You got also what, AJ Green.
Yeah.
They still have Andy Isabella.
They actually just released him like
They
a
cut
week.
him.
Yeah, like maybe a week and a half. Yeah, because I saw it and I was like, that'd be an interesting guy for the Eagles. I liked him. I don't think maybe he didn't. It says he got like a decent amount of snaps, but I don't feel like he got a fair shake. At that slot, he's probably going to go to Tampa Bay and be the best slot receiver. So
Or he'll get paired up with Mac Jones in New England.
yeah, and catch 75 balls this year, and yeah, but
You know,
no,
I would like that. I mean, I don't know if Isabella is a returner, but I know he's blazing fast, and we have Watkins, but Watkins is more of a long-legged, lengthy strider, a burner. Isabella is a guy that I think, unless you want to talk about like the Olympian
right,
that we
Devin
had,
Allen.
Devin Allen, maybe the guy from Utah who this is the punt returner. I'd say Isabella is a step up above.
I don't get it, man. That guy's he's a look, like two-time All-American from Utah, like Britton Covey. It seems like he has no idea what he's doing. Like he catches the ball, which is great. That's just one part of being a returner. I just feel like he doesn't know what to do. It's almost like he still thinks he's in college speed. So he's like catching it and like waiting for a window. And by the time he decides, he's getting hit. Like you're not at Utah. Like you're not playing some, like Appalachian State, who's respectable, but still, you're not playing some like small school where you can kind of wait and you're faster than 97% of the guys on the field. There's probably 5, 6 guys coming down the field that are at your speed, if not faster. Like, so I think he's just got to decide. Whereas Quez, I don't think is a great returner, but he's fast enough to make plays. So I don't know, man. I would like to see our return game get a little better. I feel like it's kind of lackluster.
I feel like Boston Scott could add a spark.
Kind of like the little Darren Sproles like factor where you just he's small enough to make plays and he's fat. He can hurt you.
Yeah,
Um, the size matters, man. Like the him being, like you saw it with Sproles where he gets through the hole and like you really don't know where he's at. Like linebackers are like searching for him, and then he comes through this side, and you're like, oh shit, like I missed it. Like, so I think it could be something like that. Maybe I'm sure they probably tried him. Maybe they don't like something back there. It's pretty crazy to think some guys can't punts. They can do all.
maybe maybe I mean maybe NFL. I mean, I would assume they are, but I know NFL punts are different.
Oh, for sure.
I just wonder how different. Like in college, are they punting it like 30 yards into the air or whatever number, and then in the NFL they're punting it 60 yards into the air, and the wind's just crazy, and
I watched. So
they're faster.
I watched a thing on it. It was on what was his name? There was a punter basically talking about the different ways to spin the ball. And there was like 7 different ways to like kick the ball. I'm like I understand like there's backspin, they want forward spin, and like then he starts talking about you can go off the like just shift a little bit on your foot and it goes off the left side because you want it to spin this way. And it's like I don't even like so he starts talking about all this stuff. So I can imagine. I mean, I remember playing backyard football and like, usually throws from you. They're ducks, they spin this way instead of this.
Right.
They're difficult to catch. So I imagine like some of these punters are like they're trying to. It's like an onside kick. You're trying to put as much crazy spin and bounce on it as you can. So I imagine it's probably very difficult, but just some guys have that. But yeah, I don't know. That's one aspect I'd like to see get better. I feel like our special teams is like we're probably averaging like 4 yards a return. It just seems like we could do better. I feel like a lot of teams are like doing these little pooch kicks on kickoffs where they're dropping the ball inside the 10-yard line, like in the corner, and they're forcing you to return it. And it seems like we're only getting to like the 18, 20-yard line and we're losing 5, 6, 7 yards every time. But I mean, it's smart if we're going to continue to struggle in that. I guess it's smart to do it, but because 7 yards can be a huge difference. But
Yeah.
yeah,
We will see. I wouldn't. I would like to see Gainwell back there. I like how they put Devontae Smith back there last game in
Yeah.
like a high leverage situation where like we actually have a chance to return the ball. I liked to see that they put him back there. So looking forward to more Jalen Hurts progression. Um, hope that he can be on time, get the ball out quickly. Let's run the ball. Let's protect Driscoll initially. Let him ease into the game. Give him some chips with the tight end, with the running back. Run, some opposite direction, and we'll see.
Yep.
On the road's different because if the Cardinals get off to a good start, then you've got to deal with crowd noise. The players start to believe. It's still
Yeah.
early in the year. Like no team's given up.
Right.
Do you know what their record is, Ryan?
I don't. I want to say 2-2. It could be. They might be 3-1. But again, it's been a kind of a, I don't know, a not real impressive start so far for them. Just with as electric as you thought they'd be, the Kyle, with everything. But I don't know for sure.
I'm about to look it up. Arizona Cardinals. They're 2-2.
Okay.
2-2. And the Eagles are, of course, we are undefeated. We're
Yep.
So we've played 4 different teams and we beat all of them so far.
That's good work.
So anyways, looking forward to it again. Hope the Eagles kick some butt. Hope to see Gardner Johnson playing some nickel if Maddox isn't out there. I think it's an important position.
Yeah.
I think whoever you put back there at safety with Epps, you just tell them, hey, don't get beat deep.
Yeah.
Like make them throw the layered passing, make them throw over the linebackers and in front of the safeties. Don't let them beyond. Like I would put Gardner Johnson down in the slot, unless you really don't want to. Maybe Maddox is only out for a few weeks, and you don't really want to slow Gardner Johnson's progression at safety.
Right.
Like I know, like last week they didn't put him in nickel, right? We had Josiah Scott playing nickel,
Right.
which Shashere was up last week.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go check out the injury report as well and see if they elevated another corner.
Not college, at least not that I read. Yeah, I think I'm assuming Maddox will be back because it was questionable that he was going to be back this week. I'm assuming he'll be back next week, playing it safe, which is fine. We have 2 good corners, and then if you want to include Gardner Johnson in that realm, then we have a nickel corner that can fill in. But yeah, this is the last week for Shashery to be elevated before we have to sign him to the active roster. So
you got a score prediction, Ryan?
I'm gonna go 30-24.
30-24?
Yeah.
That was my prediction last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was. I'm gonna go 34-28. So we will see. Any last words before the game?
I don't think so, man. I'm happy with how we're progressing. Just gotta continue. Don't get sidetracked. Don't go off the game plan. Don't get big headed, and keep the foot down, man. Don't give up on. Don't start just running the ball and running screens and it's almost like at times teams are like, oh, we're fine with punting if we can run 2 minutes off the clock. It's like we shouldn't have that mindset. We should be trying to score 50 points a game. Just foot down, because we see it all the time. 5, 6, 7 times a year where a team comes back, they're down 20 and they come back and win it. And it's the NFL, man. Any team can do it, and Cardinals definitely have the firepower. So yeah, keep the foot down would be my biggest wish.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I want to see Jalen progress, and then I also want to see how we attack Kyler Murray. I want to see if we use a spy, how often, and more so than that, are we going to bring pressure? Are we going to blitz? Because without when he last year, even they were 8-0. I remember there was a significant downturn in their play. when they lost DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Which you would think, right? Like that should matter. He's a tremendous player. Probably the best receiver in the league when he's healthy, I think. He's really, really good. Definitely top 3. I guess there are some guys, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I mean, come to mind. There's some really good players.
Oh.
But he's legit. But when they lost him, man, like I remember last year, there was a really big downturn in their play. So they really don't feel like the same team without him.
Yeah.
So interested to see if we blitz and how we kind of attack Kyler Murray, because I do think he's capable of sitting back and picking us apart if we try to like play that soft shell defense.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys. Well, hey, this has been another episode of the Bird Brothers. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment below. We're also going to come out with a video today reacting to the Eagles and Arizona Cardinals game. So, go Birds. Thanks for watching.